Test, test, test. Hello out there, baseball fans. You're listening to WCBN Sports broadcast of University of Michigan Baseball. We're live at beautiful Ray Fisher Stadium on a chilly but sunny, cloudless sky Tuesday afternoon here on the campus of University of Michigan. The Wolverines here are facing off with Bowling Green State University. I'm Eli Sherman on the call today. This is the Wolverines' home opener here at Ray Fisher. They spent the first 22 games of the season on the road, going to Florida and North Carolina, South Carolina, Kansas, and Nebraska before finally making it back to Ann Arbor. Wolverines enter the game 11-11 on the season. Bowling Green 5-13 on their season. Matt Ogden will be on the mound for the Wolverines coming into this one. He is 0-1 on the season with a 5.14 ERA in 6 appearances, primarily out of relief. This will be his first start of the season. And Matt Ogden has a bit of a history with the Bowling Green Falcons. He is actually the last pitcher for Michigan to record a victory against Bowling Green. That came on April 2nd, 2013. He pitched 3 2/3 innings in relief, had 4 strikeouts to earn the victory. Ogden, of course, missed all of last season due to injury, so he has 2 years remaining. He is a redshirt junior here for the Wolverines. And in 2013, when he last pitched, he led the team with 8 wins, 42 strikeouts, and a solid 2.28 ERA. Also led the Big Ten in ERA. So now it's time for the starting lineups for Bowling Green. Leading off, playing second base, Brandon Howard. Ogden deals the first pitch. That one right at the knees for a strike. Batting second, the shortstop, Brian Bean. Batting third, the DH, Trey Keegan. Fourth, the left fielder, Matt Smith. Ogden winds and delivers. That one's low and away, ball 1. Third baseman, batting fifth, Greg Basjalga. Batting sixth, Randy Ryder, the first baseman. Seventh, Jesse Raitt, the right fielder. Batting eighth, Tyler Griner, catcher. Howard lays down a bunt. That one's right to Ogden. Ogden picks it up and fires over to first for the first out. We got 1 out here at the home season at Ray Fisher Stadium. And batting ninth for the Falcons is Corey Brown, the center fielder. So, 3 pitches, 1 out. Couldn't be any simpler than that for Matt Ogden. Ogden, a right-handed pitcher. As I mentioned, redshirt junior. First pitch to Brian Bean is fouled down the right field line into the Bowling Green bullpen. 0-1 count. Ogden, 6'3", 200 pounds, hefty right-hander. He winds. That one's up and in. 1-1 now to Mr. Bean. And Ogden has kind of struggled a little bit early on in this season. 7 innings pitched in 6 appearances. He winds. That one's lined down the left field line. Under it is the left fielder for Michigan, Corey Bruder. He makes the catch, and there's 2 away here in the top of the first. One interesting thing to note about Bowling Green's lineup is they have 9 hitters, all 9 of them righties, perhaps going for that righty-righty matchup against the righty Ogden. Trey Keegan comes to the plate. He squares the bunt, pulls back. That's going to go for a ball. 1-0 pitch inside, a fastball. 2-0. Ogden falling behind here early to Trey Keegan. Keegan steps back in. Ogden working quickly. He's already ready. This one a looper into right field. And under it is Kevin White, and that's 3 up, 3 down for Matt Ogden and the home opener. We'll be right back with the University of Michigan baseball.
Including today's start by Matt Ogden, how many Wolverine pitchers have started a game during the 2015 season? be texting your answer to 54815. If you think the answer is 5, text 5. If you think the answer is 6, text 6. Or if you think the answer is 7, text 7. Again, simply text 5, 6, or 7 to 54815 on your mobile phone now. By voting, you will automatically be entered to receive Michigan mobile alerts, and standard messaging rates may apply. We'll reveal the answer prior to the top of the 6th inning, and one lucky winner will receive a text to redeem a M-Den gift card. I'm gonna wear my flip-flops and I'm gonna play some flip-cupping. Rock a little bit of hip-hop and haggard and jagger. Throw a shorty on the cornhole game. If I'm lucky, I might get laid the way that it's going. That kid gon' be
And welcome back to University of Michigan Baseball. Eli Sherman here. Lineup for Michigan today, Jacob Cronenworth playing third base, Jake Bivens, the freshman, playing shortstop, Jackson Glines in center, Carmen Benedetti hitting cleanup, DH, Corey Bruder, another freshman, in left field, Kyle Jusick, the first baseman, batting seventh, Kevin White, the right fielder, catching and batting eighth is Kendall Patrick, and batting ninth, Eric Jacobson. Cronenworth takes up and away for ball one, and Michigan looks to get their offense going here in the bottom of the first. Cronenworth tried to check on a curveball inside, unable to hold up, 1-1. Pitcher for the Falcons of Bowling Green is Brett Fitzwater. He winds and delivers. That one's up and away, 2-1. Fitzwater, 6'4", 181 lefty out of Sherwood, Ohio. Very lanky delivery. And you'd expect with his height that he'd have quite a bit of power behind his fastball, but I think the lack of weight kind of balances it out. Cronenworth skies this one into right field. Under it easily is Raitt. He makes a catch. One away for the Wolverines in the bottom of the first. And Bivens comes to the plate. He's hitting .281 on the season for the Wolverines. Not too bad for a freshman just trying to make his waves here in the college game. First pitch from Fitzwater. Just outside, ball one. Bivens grounds that one down the line past the diving glove of Basalga into the corner. He's going to round first and head into second for a one-out double here in the bottom of the first. He gets to second base and gives a bow and arrow sign back to the dugout. Typical of the Wolverines. We saw that all the time last year. And now Jackson Glines is going to come to the plate. He is hitting an astronomical .472 for the Wolverines. Glines, of course, a senior, transferred over from a community college out in California last year, and ever since he stepped on campus, he's just been hitting the snot out of the ball, and he will definitely be playing professional baseball once he graduates from U of M in May. Fitzwater working from the stretch now. First pitch low, well below the knees. Glines takes a leisurely step out of the box. Comes back in, tips his cap, looks back to the pitcher. Fitzwater comes set. Checks the runner at second. Curveball comes way inside and hits Glines on the back. Glines barely even moved on that one. Hit him around the numbers there. And so Michigan's going to have first and second here with one out. Carmen Benedetti comes to the plate. He is hitting .325 on the season, was named to the Big Ten All-Freshman team last season. 77 at-bats on the season. He's hit 1 home run. Does have quite a bit of power in that bat. 8 doubles on the season. And Fitzwater's ready. That one right across the outside corner. Just missed. Umpires today, Dan Jeffrey Jr., the home plate umpire, David Buck over at first base, and Dennis Varweg, the guy in rotation at second and third. Fitzwater ready. Checks both runners. And Carmen Benedetti skies this one to center field. Out there, the shortstop, Brian Bean, making the catch in shallow center field. Both runners stay put. And now the Wolverines have 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. That'll bring up Corey Bruder. He's a junior transfer just like Glines. He's hitting .322. You look at this lineup for the Wolverines, they got several guys hitting above 300. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys hitting above 300, and 2 of the other 3 hitting just a shade under. So a nice offensive output from the Wolverines early on in this season. Bruder takes a curveball up and away. Bender that did not bend. 1-0. Fitzwater ready. Fly ball into left field. That one's right at the wall. Coming over to his right and making the catch is Bivens. And that's going to do it for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the first. We go to the second. No score between University of Michigan and Bowling Green.
Hitting off the top of the second baseman for Bowling Green. The left fielder, number 10, Smith.
And it'll be Smith, Basalga, and Ryder for the Falcons here in the top of the second. Ogden made quick work of the Falcons in the top of the first, going 1, 2, 3. First pitch, a fastball right on the outside corner for a strike. Smith hitting .295 on the season with 11 RBIs. He squares the bunt, does not pull back. 0-2. Ogden ready. He winds and fires. That one low. 1-2. And the Falcons for Bowling Green, much similar to the Wolverines, that started the majority of their season on the road. They didn't have a home game until Youngstown State on Wednesday. Smith grounds over to the left side, Cronenworth fields, and routinely throws it over to Juzik for the first out of the top of the second. Falcons have faced off with Southern Missouri, Eastern Kentucky, Campbell, Bucknell, Illinois State, Maine, and Cornell before starting off MAC play against Ball State this past weekend. Ogden winds and fires. That one's low to Basalga. And again, similar to the Wolverines, they got swept in their opening series, 3 games against Ball State at home this past Friday through Sunday. Ogden from the windup, the 1-0 pitch to Basalga. That one lifted into left field. Gonna creep foul. 1-1. Wind coming left to right out of the east today. Not too strong. And a virtually cloudless day, just a few wisps along the southwest horizon. Just about 40 degrees, though. Ogden winds. That one's inside. A bender misses. Count goes to 3-1. Ogden ready. He fires. Jams Basalga. That one straight up. Ogden gets out of the way for Jusic. And Jusic makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Ogden still has not allowed much of anything from the Falcons. Continuing that dominance from his 2013 season. Maybe pitching at home is really the difference for these pitchers. We'll have to see how that progresses as the season goes on. Definitely tough for Wolverines pitchers to make their first 22 appearances on the road or virtual road games, whether or not they're considered home games, in tournaments and road series to kick off the season in the warmer climates. First pitch to Ryder was low and away. Second one, swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch. Ryder was way out in front of that one. He was swinging for the fences. 1-1. Ogden ready. He winds and fires. Grounder, weak over to Cronenworth. Cronenworth quick out of the glove and fires to Jusic. 6 up, 6 down for the Wolverines. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score in Ann Arbor.
No man is more important than the team. No coach is more important than the team. Team. We'll believe in each other. We're not going to criticize each other. We're not going to talk about each other. We're going to encourage each other. When we play as a team, when the old season is over, you and I know it's going to be Michigan again. Michigan. Moving on, the bottom of the seventh for Michigan. The 6th batter. First baseman number 34, Kyle Jusic.
And Jusic comes to the plate for the Wolverines. He's hitting .300 on the season. Played in 14 games thus far. Just 4 RBIs for the Wolverines. He split time over at first base, throughout last year as he takes a fastball inside for ball 1. Split time with Cronenworth primarily, as well as Kendall Patrick from time to time. The 1-0 pitch low and away, 2-0. Fitzwater back on the mound. Struggled a little bit in the first. .2-0 pitch. That one right across the heart of the plate. Jusic was taking all the way. Count moves to 2-1. Fitzwater moving really quick. Pop up into right field. Under that one is The right fielder, Rate, moves over to his right and a little bit forward, and he makes a catch, one away in the bottom of the second. That'll bring up Kevin White for the Wolverines. He's hitting .292 on the season. Just 4 RBIs. He does have 1 home run, though, and Kevin White is a guy that has always impressed us. Has a lot of strength, a lot of power in that bat. Takes a curveball low and away in the dirt, 1-0. And it seems that anytime he's able to just get the bat on the ball, it goes somewhere hard. Kevin White, one of the 2 captains on this Michigan team. He takes a fastball in the outside corner. Didn't like the call. Gives a look to the home plate umpire, but will step back in, 1-1. Swing and a miss. That one, a fastball below the knees, couldn't catch up to it. And a 1-2 count now for Kevin White. A lot more experience in the lineup from the Wolverines this year. As White takes a 1-2, that one a curveball in the dirt. 2-2. Bottom 4 of the Wolverines lineup are all seniors and 2 juniors in the top 5. So 7 of the 9 guys are working from an upper class status. The 2-2 was in the dirt, and now the count is going to go full for Kevin White. Fitzwater struggling to get the ball over the plate here so far. Fitzwater winds and fires. That one up and away. Kevin White works the walk. And, you talk about Kevin White's power, but he also has pretty fast wheels. Plays right field for the Wolverines, and he's been known to steal a base here and there. On the season, just 1 attempt, and he was caught, but nonetheless, don't be surprised to try and see him work a little bit against the lefty, see if he can get it in his head since Fitzwater has been struggling of late. Kendall Patrick steps to the plate. He's been playing catcher for the Wolverines. Takes a changeup right over the heart of the plate, 0-1. Kendall Patrick, of course, playing behind Cole Martin these past few seasons. Cole Martin, a spectacular defensive catcher, good team leader. Quick snap throw from Fitzwater. In back safely is Kevin White. Cole Martin, of course, graduated. He's now playing in the Frontier League, unaffiliated Class A ball. Fly ball off the bat of Kendall Patrick right into shallow center field. Under it is Brown. Kevin White retreats. And there's 2 away down in the bottom of the second for the Wolverines. That'll bring up Eric Jacobson, the other senior captain for this Wolverine squad. Many would say that he is one of the favorites of head coach Eric Bakich. He's the second baseman today. He's also seen time at shortstop throughout the season, hitting .312 on the year. He started in all 22 games for the Wolverines. First pitch from Fitzwater. Pitch out. Kevin White stayed put. And so Jacobson gets a free ball. Jacobson, for a time last year, was leading the Big Ten in batting average. He takes the 1-0 outside, 2-0. And the Wolverines could have a 2-out rally going here if Fitzwater isn't careful. Top of the lineup on deck with Cronenworth. Another snap throw from Fitzwater. That one a little bit more lazy. And Kevin White in back safely again. .2-0 pitch. Outside again, 3-0. Fitzwater doesn't really have too much stuff on his fastball from what it's appeared so far. Not too much movement, sitting mid-80s. 3-0 pitch, just in at the knees. Jacobson was getting ready to toss his bat back. Heard the call of the umpire and stepped back in. 3-1. Another throw over from Fitzwater. White and safely. Three-one pitch. Line drive into center field. Right at Corey Brown. And the Wolverines go down 1-2-4. In the bottom of the second, we go to the third. Still a tie game, 0-0. One hit on the board for each of these teams. Just one hit for Michigan. And nothing for the Falcons of Bowling Green. We'll be right back.
Don't miss your chance to touch the gold blue banner as you finish your 5K off the field at Michigan Stadium. You can register online at ingoblue.com.
South of lazy lips, working, spitting, hunting, fishing, stone cold country by the grace of God. I was gassing up the other day, old Ford up with a license plate, Ohio, thought over the law he's lost. From his rangers to his blues, he might be prison new. That Copenhagen smile, country must be countrywide. It's station, lean gas ain't really working. Or it comes in four-wheel drive. Cowboys, hillbillies, farm towns, big cities. Ain't no doubt in my mind, country must be countrywide.
And welcome back. Eli Sherman here for WCBN Sports. No score here. Top third. Wolverines and Falcons coming to the plate for Bowling Green is number 22, Jesse Raitt, the right fielder. Following up on him will be Griner and Brown. First pitch from Ogden, right in on the corner. Fastball for a strike, 0-1. Griner, the catcher today. He lines this one, a blooper down the right field line. That one's going to fall in for a hit. Holding at first is Griner, and they keep him to a single. First hit of the day for the Falcons. So Ogden's going to be working from the stretch for the first time today.
Catching, number 33, Tyler Griner.
Ogden ready. Checks the runner at first. Squares to bunt. That one just going to roll foul. Returning to first will be Raitt. And now it seems that the game has slowed down quite a bit. With that runner on first, Ogden taking his time much more deliberate, getting his sign from Kendall Patrick. He comes set now. The 0-1 pitch. In at the knees for a strike. Nice pitch. Fastball coming right in the inside corner. And quickly ahead, 0-2 is Ogden. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Fastball outside corner. Griner couldn't catch up. One away, top three. That'll bring up Corey Brown for the Falcons of Bowling Green. Brown, a 5'10 junior out of Sparta, Michigan. One of the few players on Bowling Green not from Ohio. Quick throw over to first base in safely is Raitt. Out of about a 40-man roster, 35-man roster for Bowling Green, they have just 5 out-of-staters. Most of them coming from the Midwest, just one guy from New York. First pitch into Brown and at the knees for strike one. Corey Brown steps back in. And Brown has seen plenty of action out in the outfield so far today. Wolverine skying several balls out in his direction. 0-1 pitch tipped into the glove. Holding on was Kendall Patrick for the foul tip. 0-2. Middle infielders at double play depth for the Wolverines, Bivens and Jacobson. Ogden comes set. 0-2 pitch. Swinging a foul straight back into the net. Will stay at 0-2. And, while it is a bit chilly outside, Wolverines got to be happy to be back home. Quick throw from Ogden. In safely was Rate yet again. Ogden, not much of a pickoff pitcher. His size doesn't do him too many favors in that regard. Curveball hit down the line, past the diving glove of Cronenworth. Rounding second is Rate. He's going to score. And into second with a double was Corey Brown for the Falcons. Falcons get ahead early here, 1-0 in the top of the third. Jacobson goes and has a word with his pitcher Ogden. That pitch was just lined down the line. Hot shot ground ball. And Cronenworth, who was playing a little bit in, couldn't really react quick enough. Dived outstretched. And the ball went all the way down into the corner. So Bowling Green has a 1-0 lead. First pitch into Howard. That's in there for a strike. Corey Brown dancing around over there at second base, trying to get the attention of Ogden, getting his head a little bit. Ogden comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball in the inside corner for a strike. Ogden has been getting quite a few calls from the home plate umpire today. Could be the benefit of being the home pitcher, or maybe Kendall Patrick is doing his pitcher a few small favors, but he's been getting about half an inch on either side of the plate that it seems that Fitzwater hasn't for the Falcons. 0-2 is outside, try to get him to chase. Howard was having nothing of it. Howard looking for perhaps his 8th RBI on the season if he's able to hit Corey Brown in from second. 1-2 pitch from Matt Ogden. Checks the runner and delivers. Fouled straight back into the parking lot. Glad I walked today, because my car might have a dent in it if not. Ogden quickly back focused and getting his sign. He comes set. 1-2 pitch. Checks the runner. Fouled back in to the chest of the umpire. He looks like he's shaking off his shoulder. Little bit of a stinger. Kendall Patrick's going to go out, talk to Matt Ogden, try and give the home plate umpire a little bit of time to regain his the feeling in his arm. Has a word with home plate umpire Dane Jeffrey Jr. as he gets back to the plate and settles behind the dish. Ogden taking a long time to get his sign. He comes set. He got him. Call looking. Fastball right on the outside corner. Howard looked about as confused as I did up here in the booth. That one was a solid 3 or 4 inches on the outside corner. Kendall Patrick got the frame. There's 2 outs here in the third. That'll bring up Brian Bean. Bean came into the game hitting 186 on the season. He's played in 17 of the Falcons' 18 games this season. Obviously, a defensive starter. First pitch fouled straight back into the net. 5 RBIs on the season, 2 doubles. Slugging percentage and an abysmal .220 on the season. And 8 strikeouts. Check swing, got contact, grounded over to Cronenworth. Cronenworth fields, throws it over to the Juzik. And the Wolverines get the Falcons in the third, but not after the Falcons are able to score the first run of the game after the double by Greiner.
Leading off the bottom of the third inning for Michigan, third baseman number 2, Cronenworth.
It's Cronenworth, Bivens, and Glines, the top of the order here for the Wolverines. In the bottom of the third, trying to tie it up after allowing a run in the top of the third. These two teams tend to match up about once a season, normally here in Ann Arbor. First pitch from Fitzwater just catches the outside corner. Curveball in there for a strike, 0-1. They typically face off about once a year in these midweek non-conference games once the weather's warmed up a bit. Tries to go with a curveball again. That one on the inside corner misses. 1-1 for Cronenworth. Bowling Green won last year here in Ann Arbor in a 4-2 game. Cronenworth gets a fastball, lines it over the shortstop head into left center field. He gets a single, and the Wolverines have a runner with no outs here in the bottom of the third. Up now for the Wolverines, Jake Bivens. First time up, he lined the ball down the left field line, got into second base for a double, ended up getting stranded there. Fitzwater taking his time. Checks Cronenworth at first and delivers. Fastball up and in. Bivens takes and is back in the box, ready to go. The 1-0 pitch from Fitzwater. Swinging a foul straight back. Looked like a good pitch to hit from Fitzwater. Bivens was likely trying to take that one to the opposite field. Wolverines hitting 5 lefties today. Kind of a surprise against a lefty starting pitcher. Throw over from Fitzwater. Cronenworth in standing up. And these midweek games tend to just be an opportunity for coaches on both teams to get playing time as Fitzwater throws over to first again. Cronenworth in sliding this time. Get playing time for guys that during the season wouldn't typically be playing in their conference games maybe try some different positions out. Curveball in there for a strike. Cronenworth was running on the pitch. Catcher Griner dropped the ball on the exchange, and Cronenworth slides into second safely. Cronenworth has already attempted 11 steals on the season, now has 6 successful stolen bases. Fitzwater comes set, 1-2 pitch to Bivens. Checks Cronenworth at second. Curveball, that one's up and in. And Fitzwater has had trouble getting his curveball to break all game. Sometimes it'll cut right across the strike zone, down to around the batter's knees or even lower. Other times it'll be shoulder level when it gets to the catcher's glove. Does not have significant control on that breaking ball. Fastball outside corner. That one misses for a ball. 3-2 now to Jake Bivens. Wolverines trying to battle back after giving up a run in the top of the third. Glines waiting on deck. He again came into the game hitting .472 on the season. Fitzwater ready. Winds and fires. Nubber back to the pitcher. Mishandles the ball at first, but picks it up, turns and fires over to first base, one away. And a disappointing at bat for Jake Bivens with a runner in scoring position. Glines will come to the plate. He got hit by a pitch there in the first inning by one of those curveballs that just did not break into the zone. Slipped out of the hand of Fitzwater. Glines will be looking to tack onto his RBI total this season. He led the Wolverines last season. Has 11 thus far in 2015. Takes the first pitch, a curveball. Again, didn't break. Up high, 1-0. Wolverines primarily getting their RBI output from Benedetti and Bruder, the 4 and 5 hitters, so far this season. Glines getting on base, getting hit in by those guys. He takes low, 2-0. And now Fitzwater in a dangerous position. Wind blowing out to right field. Does not want to make a mistake here. The 2-0 pitch. That one in at the knees. Glines taking all the way, 2-1. One away here in the bottom of the third. 1-0 Bowling Green. Benedetti waiting on deck. Looking for his chance to maybe break this one open. 2-1 pitch. Outside. 3-1 now. Jackson Glines. Jackson Glines, a very dangerous hitter. And I wouldn't expect Fitzwater to give him anything too good to hit. Better to have the force out. He pitches well outside. Almost an intentional ball. And so Glines takes his stroll down to first base, first and second now for Carmen Benedetti. Benedetti popped out to the shortstop in shallow center field during the first inning. And now the middle infielders will have the benefit of being able to go back to double play depth with the 2 runners on in the force. Third baseman Basalga will be playing even with the baseline, looking for maybe a bunt. Wouldn't expect to see a bunt from here from Benedetti. He takes inside, 1-0. Timeout called by the pitching coach for Bowling Green. He's going to stride out to the mound. Rick Blanc in his 8th season with Bowling Green. Going to have a conversation with Fitzwater. All the runners, as well as Benedetti, come in to have a conversation with Bakich. Bakich has had moderate success in his first few seasons here in Ann Arbor. Finished 5th in the Big Ten regular season last year. Eliminated after winning 2 games in the Big Ten tournament last year. Of course, the Big Ten tournament, much like the NCAA tournament, a double elimination format. Wolverines would have had to win 1 or 2 more last season to be able to make the push into the NCAA tournament. 1-0 pitch. That one low, and now 2-0 to Fitzwater. Interesting, this year Bakich has been working out of the dugout on offense. In previous seasons, he was the third base coach, instead giving up those duties to his assistants. Now the 2-0 pitch from Fitzwater. Check swing, that one going to go foul. Jammed on the inside part of the plate was Benedetti. Didn't like the pitch coming in, but couldn't hold up enough to keep the bat off the ball. 2-1 now for Benedetti. He has 2 runners on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. The 2-1 pitch. In the dirt, that one gets past the catcher. Both runners will move up a base, and Benedetti will just have to lift one into the outfield to score a run. If he's able to get one on the ground, that'll be likely good for 2 here in the bottom of the 3rd. 3-1 count for Benedetti. I expect him to look for something really juicy on the inner half of the plate, especially with the wind blowing out towards right field. Bruder on deck for the Wolverines. Three-one pitch. Inside corner. Nice diving stop by Ryder. Flips to Fitzwater covering first. Cronenworth scores. So the Wolverines have tied it up here. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 3rd. And if you're Benedetti, that's really all you're looking for. You know, you can't guarantee a hit. Obviously, something out of the infield would have been better, but where that was placed on the infield, getting it kind of out of the easy range of the first baseman means that the first baseman had to go to first to get the out rather than trying to come home with it. In any case, 1-1 game here. First pitch to Bruder, he fouls that one straight back towards the press box. 0-1 count. One up and away, 1-1. Bruder had a nice series down in Kansas 2 weeks ago, went 7 for 13 in the 3-game set. He takes the 1-1 on the outside corner. Nice backdoor curve in there, 1-2. Bruder has a few words with the home plate umpire. Now the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, inside corner. He lines that one foul into the Michigan bullpen down the left field line. Count stays at 1-2. Fitzpatrick looking in to get a sign. Glines on third. Wants to score. Check swing from Bruder. That one just on the outside corner. He wanted to try and line that one off. Instead takes, and the count moves to 2-2. Two-two pitch. Line drive into left field. Nice diving play by Smith. Ball just went off his glove. I'm sorry, I didn't see that one. Whew. Diving play went off his glove, bounced to the center fielder, Corey Brown. Glines will score on that one. Glare getting in my eyes up here in the press box. I mentioned it's a sunny day. Sun in basically straightaway center field, high in the sky. Matt Smith was unable to make the play, and so Bruder moves up to first base. He had thought it was caught too. Would have ended up on second. If not for that, he runs on the pitch. In there safely. Jusic was taking. Ends up being a strike. And Jusic will try and keep things going here for the Wolverines. They now have a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the third. Kevin White on deck for the Wolverines. Fitzwater comes set. Checks the runner. Curveball over the heart of the plate. Jusic didn't want any of that. Takes, and count goes to 0-2. Fitzwater trying to get out of a long inning here. Fastball, that one into the right-handed batter's box, left side of the plate. Jusic a lefty. Corralled by Griner, and Bruder stays put at second base. Now the 1-2 pitch. Curveball in the dirt. Again, corralled by Griner. Bruder stays put, 2-2. Now for Jusic at the plate. Fitzwater gets a sign. The 2-2 pitch, 2 outs. Swinging a pop-up to right field. Back to his left is Rate. He makes the catch without too much effort, and the Wolverines are out in the third, but not after scoring 2 runs, answering the Falcons, and they have a 2-1 lead heading to the top of the fourth.
All right, Brandon, keep your eyes on the baseball. All right, Brandon, which block enters the baseball under 1, 2, or 3? He says number 3. Congratulations, Brandon. You have just won a Michigan Baseball Prize. Thank you for playing the Michigan Baseball Shuffle.
And welcome back to Ann Arbor. You're listening to WCBN Sports. I'm Eli Sherman here at the home opener of University of Michigan season. Wolverines coming into this game 11-11 on the season, facing off with Bowling Green. They're 5-13 on the season. Ogden winds and fires to Trey Keegan. That's in there for a strike, right at the knees, 0-1. Keegan, Smith, and Basalga here in the fourth for the Falcons. Next pitch grounded over to the left side between Bivens and Cronenworth in there for a single. They tried to play the ball over to first base. Not sure why they did that. The ball gets away from Jusic, but not quite far enough for Keegan to try and advance. Matt Smith comes to the plate. He was the left fielder that had that nearly amazing diving play out in left field last inning that fooled me. Ball went off his glove and fell to the center fielder. Allowed Bruder to extend the inning by a few more pitches. Matt Ogden comes set. First pitch to Smith. Swing and a foul straight back. Fastball up and away. Smith was chasing on that one. Smith, a 290 hitter on the season, slugging at 371, hitting 294 with runners on. Grounded out to the third baseman, Cronenworth, during the second inning. Next pitch, that one's fouled into the parking lot. And if you've never been to Ray Fisher, the way things are set up here is center field is kind of in the southwest. There are parking lots along the right and left field lines. Beyond the third base foul line is Yost Ice Arena, home of the hockey team. Smith fouls the 0-2 pitch back into the right field parking lot. Distances here, 312 down the left field line, 320 down the right field line, and 395 to straightaway center. Got a 20-foot wall in left field. And in left center field, you can see Alumni Field, home of the softball team. Grounder over to the left side. They got one at second, and Smith in it safely at first. It was a slow developing play to Cronenworth. Tried to go quickly as he could, but unable to get the double play turn just in time. So Smith moves up to first base. Keegan out at second on a fielder's choice. One out here, top four. 2-1 game in Michigan's favor. Basalga comes to the plate for Bowling Green. He popped out to Kyle Jusick just inside the baseline back in the second inning. First pitch is in the dirt, stopped by Kendall Patrick. Matt Smith stays put. One 1-0 count to Basalga. 316 hitter on the season, 6 RBIs. Throw over to first base. Back in safely is Matt Smith. Pitch inside. Nearly caught the corner from Ogden. 2-0 now to Basalga. Basalga, a sophomore, 5'10", 221. Out of Napoleon, Ohio. Kind of a pudgy guy down there. Looks like Pudge Rodriguez a little bit. 2-0 pitch. Fouled straight back. They say no contact. Ball gets past Kendall Patrick. Was in the dirt, bounced over his head. That's kind of the downside of the dirt. Looked like it had been fouled off of the bat of Basalga, but instead gets away from Kendall Patrick, and Matt Smith moves up to second base. Looked like he was going to round and go to third. Stays put as Patrick picked it up. 2-1 count to Basalga. Ogden comes set. 2-1 pitch. That one's low. Basalga bent way down to hit it. Grounded foul to Cronenworth. Flips it to Jackson Lamb, who's playing on the bench today, playing the role of ball boy for the Wolverines. Ogden steps back onto the mound, ready for the 2-2. He comes set. Doesn't check the runner. Fastball high. That one lifted into the right field. Going back to his left is Kevin White. Over his head and off the wall. Rounding third is Smith. Sliding into the plate. He's going to be the throw. Coming into third on the throw was Basalga. Tagged out on the play. Basalga trying to stretch that double into triple. And so they trade a run for an out. 2-2 now. The score here in Ann Arbor. Basalga, a nice hit, lifting it over the head of Kevin White. Randy Ryder comes to the plate. Ryder 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out to Cronenworth in the second. Now from the windup, Ogden. Grounder right to Cronenworth again. Cronenworth fields. Fires over to first, and they get the out. Falcons score a run for the second inning in a row. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 2-2 here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Bowling Green.
Tedexo and the Wolverines, a winning combination. Now pitching for Bowling Green, number 16, Rob Zenas.
New pitcher for the Falcons here in the bottom of the fourth, Rob Zenas coming to the mound. This season has a 0 ERA, 0 wins, 0 losses in 4 appearances. He's pitched 6 innings of scoreless baseball for the Falcons, giving up 8 hits, 7 runs, and 4 strikeouts to his credit. Has an opponent batting average of .286, but has done well so far in his few appearances. Zenas, a redshirt sophomore out of Ann Arbor. We heard when his name was announced, several fans gave him some cheers. Not too many Bowling Green fans here in attendance, but perhaps instead some maybe high school friends. Played for Pioneer High School. Zenas, a righty. He comes set. First pitch to Kevin White. A fly ball into deep right field, way back and gone! 3-2 Michigan. Kevin White sees one pitch from Rob Zenas and says, "Welcome home, buddy. This is our town now." And Kevin White comes back to the plate, gives a hat tip to his fellow teammates. High fives to those coming out of the dugout. And the Wolverines retake the lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the fourth. So, Kendall Patrick going to come to the plate now with no outs here in the first. 1 pitch, 1 run. Doesn't get any easier than that for Kevin White. I mentioned he's one of the strongest guys on this team. And showing it right there. Kendall Patrick steps in, sees a pitch. That one right across the heart of the plate, a fastball for a strike. 0-1 now to Kendall Patrick. Zenas, a 6'6", 233-pound righty. Similar stature to Ogden, but a little bit bigger. Fastball in the dirt, 1-1. And Zenas has quite a bit of zip on his fastball. Puts his entire frame behind it. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. 1-2 now to Kendall Patrick. And really, the catcher position has been one of the weaker positions for the Wolverines offensively these past few years. Cole Martin tended to hit around a Anemic for 240. Patrick takes outside 2-2. Kendall Patrick hitting 236 on the season. And they don't have too many options there offensively, and the guys generally are about the same defensively, so not a surprise to see Bakich go with a senior to play catcher. Kendall Patrick takes up and away. The count moves to 3-2. Final line for Fitzwater for Bowling Green was 3 innings, 3 hits, and 2 runs. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Low and away. Kendall Patrick goes down swinging. 1 out here, bottom 4. Fitzwater, 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and a wild pitch. Had 59 total pitches in those 3 innings, so not the most efficient of days for him. His ERA moves to 4.11 overall. First pitch into Jacobson, that's low and away, 1-0. And Zenas, who came in to this game with no ERA in the season, suddenly his ERA has jumped to 1.42 after that home run given up to Kevin White. 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. Jacobson taking all the way. And I think Zenas is one of those guys that if he had just a little bit more control, he might be a really good pitcher. Jacobson fouls that one out over into the right field parking lot. 1-2 now. Cronenworth, the leadoff hitter, standing on deck. Jacobson flew out to the center fielder, Corey Brown, in the second inning. This one grounded a chopper over to the third base side, fielded and thrown over to first base. 2 outs here, bottom 4. Basalga on that play, the pudgy third baseman, over to Randy Ryder at first. And now it looks like the fact that Michigan has so many lefties in their lineup is going to start to give them a little bit of a benefit with a righty on the mound. Cronenworth, Bivens, Glines, Benedetti, the first 4 hitters for the Wolverines, all lefty hitters. First pitch from Zenas. This one lined into left field, going towards the line and making the catch over the bullpen was Smith. This time he holds on, and that's going to do it for the Wolverines in the 4th. Highlight of this inning, though, Kevin White, that monster shot down the right field line, a line drive home run. Got out of here super fast. Wolverines took the lead on after that, 3-2. We're going to go to the 5th. Wolverines on top.
Hosted by Michigan baseball staff, the fans are a great opportunity to take your game to the next level. For more information, visit infoblue.com/amps.
Been dreaming this since I was young, so baby girl, I'll be going till I'm gone, gone, till I'm gone, gone, till I'm gone, gone. Yeah.
Now pitching for Michigan, number 35, Brett Epcot.
Tomorrow, I do it for the thrill. You know I love the rush. I rush you get me going. I can never get enough.
Now pitching for the Wolverines in the top of the fifth, Brad Adcock, 6 foot tall left-handed sophomore out of Coughlin, Michigan. Out in the thumb area. Adcock came into the season expected to be one of the top pitchers for the Wolverines. Certainly, perhaps a weekend starter. Struggled in the early going, though, as he deals a fastball past rate for a strike. Struggled in the early going here. He's gone 2-3 on the season, 26.1 innings pitched. 0-1 pitch in there at the knees, another fastball for a strike. Has a 5.47 ERA in the season, a 1.65 whip. So expect him to see a few more games out of the relief role until he can really settle things down. 0-2 pitch misses on the outside corner, 1-2. Adcock has a kind of a herky-jerky motion, bends way back over his plant foot and deals right over the top. Has quite a bit of speed out of that left side, sits in the low 90s, right around 91, 92. 1-2 pitch misses low, a fastball. And he also has a really good bender. Late break, good for a backdoor curve against the right-handed hitters. Pitched really well in that Big Ten tournament last season. 2-2, swing and a miss. He got him. Curveball right at the knees, and Rate couldn't find it. First strikeout for Adcock here in the top of the fifth. That'll bring up Tyler Griner, the catcher. He struck out in the third inning. Final line for Ogden today, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 Ks. Swinging a foul back from Griner. That one goes into the net. 0-1. One wild pitch from Ogden, threw 50 pitches on the day, so just trying to get him a little bit of work here on the midweek game. Curveball in there low from Adcock, 1-1. Taking his time getting back towards the mound. Now the 1-1 pitch. Fastball inside corner for a strike. Count moves to 1-2. Quite a few fans here in attendance today, especially given the early season. Normally we don't see more than a few dozen people here at Ray Fisher until the later weeks of the season when it gets a little bit warmer, but a nice sunny day. Students taking advantage of a nice Tuesday afternoon coming out to the ballpark for the home opener. Griner fouled the 0-2 pitch off for a 1-2. Now Adcock's ready. He winds and fires. Swing and another foul back. Count stays at 1-2. Griner, 250 hitter on the season. Just 1 extra base hit, a double. He struck out 4 times in his 16 at-bats. 1-2 pitch, grounder up the middle. That's going to get through. Glines fields it, but Griner's in with a single. Here with 1 out in the top of the 5th. That brings up Corey Brown.
The center fielder, number 12, Corey Brown.
Brown had a double back in the 3rd inning. Got the scoring started here at Ray Fisher this afternoon. Had an RBI off of that. First pitch, a pitch out from Adcock, up and away. Griner stays put. Adcock has a decent move from that left side there over towards first base, so don't be surprised to see him keep the runner honest. 0-1 pitch. Inside corner fastball for a strike. 0-2 now to Corey Brown. Excuse me, the scoreboard's wrong. I seem to recall that first pitch being a ball up and away. See if the adjustment is made in a moment here. In the meantime, Adcock throws over to first base. In safely was Griner. Now the 0-2 up and in. I keep saying 0-2. It should be 2-1 now. Scoreboard still hasn't been corrected. Brown had stepped back in, and then third base coach Cull asked for time to give a sign to his runner. Now the umpire signals back to the press box, 2-1. Scoreboard finally changed. And now the umpire is going to go to the third base coach and give a signal to him that it is indeed 2-1, and the coach changes his instructions to his runner back again. Finally back underway here. Adcock a pitch. That one fouled back, 2-2. Off the glove of Kendo Patrick. Home plate umpire Dan Jeffrey Jr. going to walk the ball back out to Adcock. Apologize for having the count wrong for a few pitches there. Corey Brown looking to stay alive here with a 2-2 count here, top fifth. 3-2 lead for the Wolverines. It was a tie game until last inning when Kevin White had a line drive home run down the right field line. 2-2 pitch from Adcock. He throws over to first, and standing up was Griner. On deck for the Falcons of Bowling Green are Howard and then Bean and Keegan, top of the order, and Howard. 2-2 pitches outside. And the count moves to 3-2. Full count here for Corey Brown, 1 out. Brown steps back in. The payoff pitch. Up and away. Corey Brown walks. Running on the pitch was Griner. He's going to stay at second base after the walk. Kendo Patrick going to go out and have a word with Brett Adcock. There is motion in the Wolverines bullpen down the left field line. Looks like a righty down there. Can't quite catch the number of who's working out down there. 2 catchers, 3 perhaps pitchers. Only one of them has his warm-up off and is throwing. 2 other guys kind of just lounging around there in the sun. And Kendo Patrick going to come back out to the mound now again. Coach Schnabel, the pitching coach for the Wolverines, going to have a conversation with the young Adcock. All the Bowling Green hitters are going to go over and have a conversation with their third base coach as well. No indication of who that coach is. Could be head coach Danny Schmidt or one of the other assistants. Danny Schmidt is in his 25th season for the Bowling Green Falcons. Has a career record of, let's see, not listed. Here we go. 642, 621, and 5 here in his 25th season. He is, of course, in the MAC Conference 500 win club. That club only has 4 other members. He's in 3rd place in the all-time wins list for the MAC. Now ready to go is Adcock. Fastball in the dirt, 1-0. And looking at the 500 win club for the MAC, looks like Danny Schmidt could be moving into 2nd place in the next season or 2. 1-0 pitch, a curveball up and away from Adcock, 2-0. He's right behind Joe Carbone of Ohio University, who retired in 2012. Carbone at 689, Schmidt at 642. Of course, Fred Decker at 791, the longtime Western Michigan head coach. Not sure anybody will ever catch him. Fastball up and away. 3-0 now for Adcock. He's going to step behind the mound, take off his cap, and wipe off his brow, try and get settled down here. Looking to avoid a bases loaded situation with one out in the top of the fifth. Howard at the plate. Bean on deck. Howard is the leadoff hitter for the Falcons. Howard 0 for 2 on the day. Had a ground out to the pitcher in the first inning. Strike in at the knees. Howard taking all the way 3-1. Howard also struck out looking in the third inning. Now the 3-1 pitch. Adcock winds and fires a fastball outside, and Howard walks. That's going to load the bases for the Falcons here in the top of the fifth. Might be some movement from Bakich down in the Wolverines dugout. Onto the top step. He will come out. So it looks like there's going to be a pitching change for the Wolverines. Brad Adcock, again, has struggled throughout this season. 5.40 ERA on the season. That could be going up if whoever comes in for the Wolverines is unable to settle things down. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back here from Ann Arbor.
Michigan, number 29, Matt Moser.
And welcome back. Mac Loser, the new pitcher for the Wolverines, right-handed pitcher out of Indianapolis, Indiana. 6'1", 190 sophomore. 2.75 career ERA for the Wolverines. 2.7 here in 2015. No wins, no losses. 7 appearances, all out of the bullpen. 3 1/3 innings pitched. 1 hit, 1 earned run. 4 walks, 5 strikeouts for Loser so far this season. He made 23 appearances last year out of the pen for the Wolverines. None of those appearances were starts, of course. Seems like his career best outing is listed as that he struck out 3 in 2 innings of relief in a win at Central Michigan. As a freshman, he did do pretty well last year, has a bit of zip on his fastball. Was one of the more steady hands out of the bullpen for the Wolverines last year. The Wolverines bullpen was a tumultuous story up and down throughout the season. So he's going to come into the game trying to shut down a rally here from the Bowling Green Falcons. They still trail 3-2 in the top of the fifth, but there's only one out. They have bases loaded, and Brian Bean, their two-hitter, is at the plate. Bean 0 for 2 on the day, had a fly out to the left fielder, Corey Bruder, back in the first inning, and grounded out to Cronenworth in the third. Cronenworth has had more than his fair share of plays over at third base today. First pitch from Loser. Curveball bends away and outside. 1-0 to Brian Bean. And if you're going to give a guy the chance to pitch out of a jam, I suppose Brian Bean couldn't be the worst hitter to face as your kind of warm-up. Brian Bean, a 180 hitter on the season. He takes the 1-0 pitch right at the knees, 1-1. 180 on the season, 0 for 2 on the day. And it's not like he hasn't had his chance. He's had 61 at-bats in the first 18 games. 1-1, 1 out. Loser set. Lazy fastball in there. That one just out of the glove of Kendall Patrick. 2-1. Drops in front of Patrick. He picks it up and tosses it back. Loser in a tight spot here, trying to save the stats of his teammate Brett Adcock. Adcock came in, got an out, and then quickly loaded up the bases. 2-1 pitches in the dirt. 3-1 now to Brian Bean. And Brian Bean, again, by far the weakest hitter on this Falcons team, to bring up Trey Keegan, Matt Smith fouls Trey Keegan. To bring up Trey Keegan, 338 hitter on the season, would be less than optimal. 3-1 pitch. In on the corner, 3-2. Now the count, bases loaded. Runners could possibly be in motion here. 1 out. We'll see what they do. We saw a little bit of a signal from the third base coach. Loser gets a sign. Taking his time. He comes set. 3-2 pitch. Line drive into left field. Right to the left fielder, Bruder. He makes the catch. Ball coming in. He beat the runner. Nice double play. Bruder to Patrick. And the Wolverines get out of the jam. Bases loaded, 1 out. They get a line drive and a throw out. Outfield assist from Bruder. We go to the bottom of the fifth. 3-2 Wolverines.
For more information, visit infoblue.com.
Coming up for the Wolverines, Jacobson going to be a leader. Excuse me, not Jacobson. Misreading the numbers. Jake Bivens. Coming up for the Wolverines, the two-hitter. Bivens, a freshman, had a double in the first inning, grounded out to the pitcher in the third. Squares the bunt, pulls back on a pitch outside, 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Swinging a line drive into the left center field. That one's down. And Bivens on to first with his second hit of the day. 2 for 3 here. And if you're a freshman playing your first game at home, that's got to be a little bit of a special day. You know, you get recruited to play somewhere, and after several weeks of playing on the road, several months of working out indoors here in Ann Arbor, finally getting a chance to strut your stuff in front of the home crowd definitely has to feel nice. Glines comes to the plate now. Still hasn't recorded an at-bat on the day, had a hit by pitch and a walk. Zanis throws over to first base. Bivens in safely. Bivens out of Battle Creek, Michigan, so wouldn't be surprised if his parents are here today to see his first home game in the maize and blue. Zanis throws over yet again, and Bivens in safely. If you're the Wolverines, this is the time to have a big inning. Bottom 5 with a 1-run lead, getting out of a jam in the top of the 5th. Glines takes away 1-0. Wolverines played in Nebraska this past weekend. Got swept. Certainly not the start they wanted to a Big Ten season with high expectations. Glines takes in at the knees, 1-1. They'll face off with conference favorite Maryland this weekend at home. We'll have the call for you right here on our YouTube account. 3-game set kicks off Friday evening. Bivens in back safely as Zanis throws over to first again. That first game on Friday night will be 4 p.m. The Saturday and Sunday matchups will be 2 p.m. and noon, respectively. Another pitch outside. Looked like Bivens might have been thinking about running. He stays put 2-1 now to Jackson Glines. Zanis comes set. The pitch. Glines fouls that one back into the netting. 2-2 here. No outs, bottom 5. Benedetti on deck for the Wolverines. Zanis comes set. The 2-2. Glines in on the hands, lifts it into center field. That fly out right to Corey Brown. Barely had to move an inch to make the catch on that one. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Carmen Benedetti at the plate for the Wolverines. And one of the great things about college baseball is that there is a lot of parity between teams. On any given day, a team from a small market school like the MAC can match up against a Big Ten team like Michigan and really play them for a good game. Benedetti over 2 on the day. Popped out to the shortstop in the first. And in the third, had that line drive down the first base line, stopped on a diving grab by the first baseman. Ball gets away from the catcher here. Griner coming back. Wild pitch by the pitcher Zanis, and Bivens moves up to second. So Benedetti will have a runner on again. In that third inning, Benedetti had runners on first and second, then a wild pitch there moved Bivens and Glines up to second and third, and then Benedetti had that line shot down the first base line. Ryder made a nice diving stop, but not good enough to keep the runs from scoring. Now a chopper up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Bean. That throw is high and off the wall in the first base line. Coming in to score from second is Jake Bivens. Wolverines take a 4-2 lead. Bivens just rounded third as he saw that throw get past. Reacted quickly, throw way over Ryder's head. So Benedetti reaches on an air from the shortstop, Brian Bean, and the Wolverines tack on another one. Cody Bruder at the plate now. 1 for 2 on the day. Had an RBI single back in the third. That scored the second run of the day for the Wolverines after Benedetti's RBI in that inning. Bruder will now try and move Benedetti around. Takes a curveball for a strike, 0-1. Jusic on deck. Zanis comes set. The pitch. Off speed, lined into center field. That one falls short of the center fielder, Corey Brown. Benedetti moves up a base, and now there's first and second for the Wolverines, threatening to score yet again in the bottom of the fifth. 1 out.
First baseman number 34,
Kyle Jusic comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day, 2 flyouts to moderately deep right field, Rate has had his number. And Zanis, after the shaky start, giving up that home run to Kevin White, has done a nice job, hasn't allowed a run yet since 1 1/3 innings on the day. First pitch to Jusic hits the outside corner, just a little bit too far outside for the umpire. 1-0. Zanis comes set. The pitch up and away. 2-0 now to Kyle Jusic. Zanis comes set for the 2-0. The pitch up and in. 3-0 now. And with Kevin White coming to the plate after Jusic, this could be a dangerous situation for Rob Zanis. Looking down towards the Bowling Green bullpen, there's one pitcher down there warming up. Bowling Green's pitching coach is standing on that second step. We could see him come back out as soon as Griner gets back to the plate. Maybe just getting a few extra pitches of warm-up time for his pitcher down in the bullpen. Coach Blanc stays put, though. And so now the 3-0 to Jusic. In there at the knees, 3-1. Also one pitcher down in the Michigan bullpen. Whoever it is looks like he's ready to go after this half inning ends. The 3-1 from Zanis. The pitch. Swinging a line drive fair down the first base line. That one's going to go into the corner. 1 run will score. Second one coming in. He will score. Jusic moves up to second base on a nice double down the line. Wolverines take a 6-2 lead here in the bottom of the fifth. 1 out. And Kevin White's going to come to the plate. Perhaps to face Zanis, perhaps to face some reliever. Now a coach coming out of the dugout for the Falcons. Zanis' day is done. They're going to go to the righty down there in the bullpen. We're going to take a break. Michigan leading 6-2 here in Ann Arbor.
Now pitching for Bowling Green, number 18, Tyler Anderson.
Tyler Anderson, the new pitcher for the Falcons of Bowling Green. Right-handed pitcher, a sophomore, 6'2", 168. Out of Lima, Ohio. Went to Shawnee High School. Anderson on the season, 5.40 ERA, 1 win, no losses in 5 appearances. No starts on the season, so all of his appearances out of the bullpen as a sophomore. 6 2/3 pitched, just 3 strikeouts and 4 walks for Anderson. Anderson has an opponent batting average of 308. So if he's going to have success against the Wolverines, he's going to have to get off to a strong start. Facing off with Kevin White, this is a second straight time that Kevin White has been facing a new pitcher, being the first batter to face him. 1 out here, bottom 5. Check swing, that one bounces foul off the bat of Kevin White. 0-1. Wolverines with a 6-2 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. They've scored 3 already in this inning. White steps back in for the 0-1 pitch against Anderson. Anderson comes set. Here's the 0-1. Down and away. Had to be blocked by Griner behind the plate. 1-1. Kyle Jusic stays put at second base. Jusic with basically anything but wheels. Obviously did get a double on that last hit, but certainly more the distance of the ball played the factor there rather than his speed. Now Kevin White, a hot shot to shortstop under the glove. Jusic hauled up at third. Kevin White in there with a single, and he improves to 2 for 2 on the day. So the Wolverines have something going yet again here in the 5th. Runners on first and third for Kendall Patrick. Kendall Patrick 0 for 2 on the day, trying to get his stats on the board. Catcher's going to come out, give some signs to his infielders in case of a steal to second. Maybe they'll go after the runner at third if he's a little bit too far off. Tyler Anderson comes set. First pitch to Patrick, off speed inside. Patrick way ahead of that one, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Another off speed. That one almost in the dirt, right at his shoelaces. Patrick swung at that one, 0-2. Patrick's going to step out and take a deep breath. Anderson seems to have his number so far in this matchup. Pitcher that appears to be ready down in the bullpen. Looks like it might be Oliver Jaski, a freshman lefty. Now the 0-2 to Patrick. That one in the dirt. Running on the pitch was White. He's in there safely. Jusic stayed put. And now the Wolverines have second and third after Kevin White steals second base. Improves to 1 for 2 on the season in the stolen base department. Infield's going to come in now, try and cut down the run. 1-2 count to Kendall Patrick. On deck is Jacobson for the Wolverines. That one in the dirt. He takes 2-2 now. And with the shortstop playing in, Brian Bean, Kevin White is getting a solid 20 feet on his lead, able to stand behind Bean. Bean would have to cut back in front of Kevin White to be able to go for a pick play. Kevin White would have him read the whole way. 2-2 pitch. Patrick flies this one into right field, going towards the line. Making the catch in right field is Rate, but coming into the plate, here's the throw. Tag is good. Kyle Jusic's out, trying to score on the tag play. I'm sure Coach Bakich will have no problem with that. He loves an aggressive team. But in any case, the Wolverines tack on 3 in the bottom of the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th here in Ann Arbor. Wolverines lead 6-2. You're listening to WCBN Sports.
The answer is 6. Matt Hopkins, Brett Adcock, Chase Ventura, Oliver Jasky, Ryan Utah, and Keith Lehman have started games for the Wolverines so far this season. Leading off the top of the 6th inning, the Wolverines designated hitter number 1, Trey Keegan.
Loser stays in the game for the Wolverines here. Top 6, 6-2 in favor of the Wolverines, facing off with Bowling Green here in the home opener in Ann Arbor. Loser working from the windup. Trey Keegan at the plate. Fastball up and in, 1-0. Loser got the Wolverines out of a big jam in the top of the 5th. 1-0 pitch. This one lifted into left center field. Moving over to his right is Glines. He makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down here in the 6th. Loser came into the game with bases loaded and 1 out. Got a line out to the left fielder, Bruder. Bruder made a nice outfield assist to Kendall Patrick at the plate to get the runner tagging. And so the Wolverines got out of that one. Loser came in to relieve Brett Adcock. Squaring the bunt is Matt Smith. Gets it down to the pitcher. Loser fields, fires over to first. 2 up, 2 down. Adcock's final line on the day. 1/3 of an inning pitched, 1 hit, and 1 strikeout, 2 walks though. ERA drops to 5.40 on the season. Not so much because of his doing as much as Mac Loser's nice pitching and a little bit of luck in there getting that double play. Adcock, 22 pitches in his 1/3 of an inning. Kendall Patrick has a word with Loser before Basalga steps in, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Loser trying to make quick work of the Falcons. He winds and delivers. Right across the heart of the plate. Basalga looked like he was going to square the bunt, pulled back before the pitch was released, and then more or less stepped out of the box. Maybe a little bit confused on that one, but in any case, 0-1. Fastball misses inside and low. 1-1 now. 2 pitchers warming up for the Wolverines down in the bullpen. Looks like a catcher is playing the role of batter down there, trying to give some practice throwing to a hitter in the box for whoever's warming up. Pitch was low and away, 1-2. 1-2 pitch from Loser. Inside, 2-2. There's a lefty down there in the bullpen. Looks like it might be Benedetti. Didn't pitch much last season as a freshman, played mostly out of the DH role. He's seen a few appearances this year. Curveball from Loser. That one's line fouled on the first base line. 2-2. Still 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Loser trying to get a 1-2-3 inning. It'd be the Wolverines' first since the 2nd inning. Umpire gives a sign to play after the foul ball. Winds and delivers. Inside corner, 3-2 count. Trying to get a little bit of magic here with 2 outs. Get something started, down 4 runs, the Falcons are. 3-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper, fouled on the third base line. Fielded by the third base umpire, Dennis Varwig. Tosses to Jackson Glines, the bench player. Excuse me, Jackson Lamb. Jackson Glines is in center field. Screwing up my names here. It is the opening day, our first broadcast of the season, so forgive me. 3-2 pitch from Loser. And here it comes. That one in the dirt. Gives up a 2-out walk here to Basalga. Got out ahead of him 0-2. And Basalga able to work the count. So that'll bring up Randy Ryder, first baseman for the Falcons. He's had 2 ground outs to the left side, both to Jacob Cronenworth, who's handled his grounders with ease so far today. Ryder going to try and continue this 2-out mini rally here for the Falcons in the top of the 6th. First pitch in at the knees for a strike. 0-1. Other pitcher down there in the Wolverines bullpen appears to be a lefty. Oliver Jaski, that lefty. Benedetti, of course, the other pitcher. 0-1 pitch is outside. Ken O'Patrick doing a nice job reaching out across his body to make that catch. 1-1 now. The 1-1 pitch. Loser taking his time. Now he comes to the plate with it. Strike on the inside corner. That one was a little bit close from up here. Looked like it was more in the batter's box than over the plate. In any case, 1-2 count now. Loser trying to finish up the inning. One-two pitch. Swinging a looper into right field. Going back to his right is Kevin White. That's over his head. Going to get up to the wall. Basalga's going to score from first. Ryder into second base with a nice 2-out RBI double. And the Falcons claw back, get one back on the board. It's 6-3 here in Ann Arbor. Top 6. Randy Raitt, Jesse Raitt coming into the batter's box. Randy Ryder the double there. Jesse Raitt struck out in the 5th. That was Brett Adcock's lone out of the day. Reid also had a single down the right field line in the third inning. Ended up scoring there. First pitch to Reid is on the inside corner for a strike. Curveball coming in there. And back when I was a catcher, I always loved calling those inside curveballs. Made it difficult for a pitcher to hit. When the curveball's coming across the plate, going to the outside corner, they're able to see it a little bit better and get it if it tends to hang. Liner up the middle, caught by Matt Loxer. That one right at his ear. He makes the catch, records the out, gives up a run here in the top of the sixth. We go to the bottom of the sixth. Wolverines still lead 6-3. You're listening to Wolverines Baseball on WCBN Sports. So Tyler Anderson stays in the game for Bowling Green here going to the bottom of the sixth, but he has a new battery mate, Justin Mott, the new catcher for the Falcons. No data here on the number of appearances he's made this season. However, hitting-wise, he hasn't done spectacularly well. 143 on the season in 7 at-bats. First pitch to Eric Jacobson fouled over the Wolverines dugout. Retrieved by a young child, going to keep a souvenir. 0-1 pitch to Jacobson. That one comes in over the heart of the plate. A slider, 0-2. Justin Mott, 143 on the season, 7 at-bats, 1 hit. Tries to get a frame on the outside corner. That one outside, 1-2 now to Jacobson. Justin Mott is a freshman for this Bowling Green team out of Amherst, Ohio. Swinging a pop-up. That one's foul over, over the press box, but ended up on the roof, making a loud clank on the tin. Mott, a 5'9 freshman, 155. Very small, especially for a catcher. I imagine he has trouble keeping the ball in front. Has to work a lot harder than some of the bigger catchers in a college game. 1-2 pitch, fouled out down the third base line yet again. Count stays at 1-2. Eric Jacobson doing his best to make Tyler Anderson work to get him. No outs here, bottom six. Wolverines lead 6-3. Grounder down the third base line. Basalga fields and throws. Making the stretch is Ryder, but they got Jacobson. He goes down, 1 out here, bottom six. Cronenworth coming to the plate for the Wolverines, top of the order. Still no lineup changes for the Wolverines here on the midweek game. Non-conference opponent. Shouldn't be too long before we see that. Of course, the Wolverines have been rotating pitchers all day. Cronenworth steps in 1 for 3 on the day. He had a single in the third inning. That's his lone hit. Scored as a result of that. First pitch is fouled over into the Yost parking lot. No harm done to the cars parked there. Wolverines hockey team finish up their season this past weekend, losing out in the Big Ten Tournament Championship game to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. And some confusion after that pitch. Looked like it went off the foot of the catcher. Now, Cronenworth is telling him it went off his own foot. From the sound of it up here, it sounded more like padding than foot. Catcher's padding, that would be. And it took an interesting bounce up into, kind of across the playing field behind the plate. They're going to call it a hit by pitch. Cronenworth takes first base with 1 out. And Jake Bivens steps to the plate. Anderson comes set. Here's the pitch. Outside corner. Nice fastball for a strike. Just catching the corner there. Benefit of the lefty-righty matchup for Anderson as he can go backdoor on the lefty Bivens. Bivens 2 for 3 on the day. 1 run. Tries to go a little bit further outside. That one too far for the umpire's liking, and the count moves to 1-1. One's across the board. 1-1 count. 1 out here, bottom 6. Cronenworth at first base for the Wolverines. Bivens at the plate. And several pitchers and catchers lounging around in the left field bullpen for the Wolverines, enjoying the sun. Can't imagine being down there is too much of a trouble. Nice ground ball hit through the hole between first and second base. That's a single for Bivens. He moves to 3 for 4 on the day. The freshman showing that he deserved that middle round draft pick in last summer's draft. Chose to come to the University of Michigan anyways. Likes the look of the college game. Knew he'd be playing more here than he would be in the minors. Also gets a chance at a nice education. Coach Schmitz is going to come out. Looks like he's going to go for a change. Looking down to his bullpen. Hasn't made a signal yet. Maybe he's going to have a word with his pitcher first. And once again, all the hitters and runners convene near the Michigan dugout. And now it does look like they're going to call for a righty. Perhaps looked like the third baseman made the signal. And now the coach finally does it. It's a lefty coming out of the bullpen for the Falcons. So Tyler Anderson's day is done. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back here with Wolverines leading 6-3. Pitching change here in Ann Arbor, bottom 6. So the new pitcher for the Falcons is going to be Cody Brown. Apparently no relation to center fielder Corey Brown. Both of their names start with a K, K-O-R-Y and K-O-D-Y. Cody Brown, the new pitcher, is a freshman coming out of Perrysburg, Ohio, just a little bit southwest of Cleveland, right at the intersection of 475 and 75 down there. In any case, left-hander, 6'1", 180 on the season. He has a 6.43 ERA, no wins, no losses in 6 appearances, 7 innings pitched, 7 walks, 5 strikeouts in his young career here for the Falcons of Bowling Green. You know, for Cody Brown, going to Bowling Green is just a hop, skip, and jump from Perrysburg. It's only about 10 or 15 miles south of Perrysburg, the campus of Bowling Green. First pitch to Glines, a curveball, a little bit low, 1-0. Glines with the opportunity to get a few more runs on the board here for the Wolverines. First and second here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Bivens on first, Cronenworth on second. 1-0 pitch. That one's low and away. 2-0. And Cody Brown already working from behind. Freshman on senior. This one a high pop-up into right field. Looks like Raid is under it. He makes the catch. Tagging from second is Cronenworth. He's in there safely at third. So the runners are now at the corners. Bivens had to stay put at first base. Benedetti coming to the plate here. 2 outs here for the Wolverines. 6-3, bottom 6. Catcher Justin Mott comes out and gives some signs to the infielders. Again, that first third setup. The last time that happened, Kevin White was at first base. He stole second base, getting in ahead of that throw. Back then, Granger was the catcher. Now a pop-up into left field. That one could get into the bullpen. It does indeed. Third baseman Basalga flipped into the bullpen over the wall. He really had no chance at it. It was more of, I don't know, looking to show off. The catchers down there in the bullpen are shrugging. Looked a little bit confused down there as to why Basalga, that is, continued to make the effort. They're having some jokes amongst themselves, talking to the usher down there who's down there retrieving the ball. 0-1 count to Benedetti. Benedetti takes a curveball up and in. Curveball broke late, but just a little bit too late. Didn't get in there. 1-1 count. Benedetti's 0 for 3 on the day. Has an RBI, though. Reached on an error back in the 5th inning. That 3-run 5th for the Wolverines. Now a ball in the dirt. Running was Bivens after he saw that one going low. Nice heads-up play by Bivens getting over there to second base. So second and third for Benedetti with 2 outs. 2-1 count here in the bottom of the 6th. Wolverines looking to extend their lead with a 6-3 lead on the Falcons of Bowling Green. 2-1 pitch. That one's in the dirt as well. 3-1 now to Benedetti. Benedetti will look to turn on one here. Looking for something inner half of the plate. And it seems that there's been a little bit more deliberance between the battery since Cody Brown came into the game. You have a freshman pitcher and a freshman catcher in the game right now. Line drive, left center field from Benedetti. That's going to get down. Benedetti's going to second. He's going to have a double. Both runners score. Benedetti's trying to turn a triple. Coming into third. He's safe. He beats the throw. Delayed call by the umpire. Getting in there. Foot first slide. He legs out a triple to the left center gap. Wolverines up 8-3 now. Bottom 6 here in Ann Arbor. Bruder coming to the plate. Kevin White in the hole. Benedetti on third now after that monster triple. Getting a liner, and the ball just rolls out here with the turf field. Grass does nothing to slow it down when it's all rubber underneath. Chopper to the shortstop. Tough play. He makes the throw. Nice play by Bean to get Bruder after a first pitch swing. But the Wolverines extend their lead to 8-3 here. We go to the top of the 7th. You're listening to WCBN's broadcast of University of Michigan Baseball for the home opener here, facing off with the Bowling Green Falcons. We'll be right back.
Final score: Rutgers 5, New Jersey Tech 3. In the top of the 4th inning, Ohio State 2, Toledo 1. Also in the top of the 4th inning, Indiana 1, Greenville 0. And in the top of the 1st inning, Penn State and Purdue are scoreless.
New pitcher, new catcher here for the Wolverines. In the top of the 7th, Oliver Jaskey, the left-handed freshman, coming out of the bullpen for the Wolverines. 6'3", 205, has quite a bit of zip on that fastball. Out of Ada, Michigan, played for Granville High School. If you've never been out to Granville, they have a beautiful multi-million-dollar ballpark there just for their high school team. Jaskey, 5.19 ERA on the season, 1 win, 1 loss. He has started a game, but 5 of his 6 appearances have come out of the bullpen. 8 2/3 on the season, allowed 10 hits, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts, and 4 extra base hits. 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run thus far. And I mentioned the other new guy in the game today, right now, is Drew Lugbauer. He's a freshman as well. Big catcher. He was drafted in the 21st round of last summer's draft by the Toronto Blue Jays. Much like Bivens also elected to come to Michigan and see what could happen in his college career. First pitch from Jaskey was a strike. Second one in the dirt, 1-1 now. And Lugbauer is touted as a Big Ten preseason freshman team to watch list, I guess is what they were calling it. Jaskey, curveball in there at the knees, 1-2 now. Lugbauer has a big bat, though so far this season we haven't seen too much production out of him. Still trying to grow his teeth here in the college game, get used to things. Also, a lot more experience returning for the Wolverines this year. So has a lot to play behind. Kendall Patrick getting the starts early on. 2-2 pitch, inside corner, just misses for a ball. 3-2 to Justin Mott. 3 freshmen in the mix right now for this game. Jaskey, Mott, and Lugbauer. Mott reaches out and pops this one up to right field. Ranging to his left is Jacobson in shallow right, making the catch. One away here in the top of the 7th.
The center fielder, number 12, Corey Brown.
Final line for Mac Lozer was 1 2/3. Gave up a run on 1 hit. No strikeouts and 1 walk. 23 pitches in that 1 2/3, so reasonably efficient for the sophomore. First pitch, bunt foul by Corey Brown. Corey Brown, the center fielder for this Falcons team. He's 1 for 1 on the day, also walked in the 5th inning. He had the RBI double back in the third inning. 0-1 pitch from Jaski. Curveball gets the outside corner. Backdoor 0-2 now. And still two pitchers warming up for the Wolverines down in the bullpen. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Got the tag from Drew Lugbauer, moving quick out of the knee position after he had blocked that one. Getting the tag. And now there's two outs here in the top of the seventh. Jaski working quick. Brandon Howard, leadoff hitter for the Falcons, comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Squares to bunt, pulls back, up and away, goes for a ball. Jaski winds and fires. Right down the heart of the plate. 1-1. And that pitch was virtually on a tee. Howard could have done basically whatever he wanted with it. Wasn't in the right mindset for that pitch, I guess. Takes the next one in the dirt, 2-1. Nice block by Lugbauer. Foul ball, tipped into the glove of Lugbauer, 2-2. And so Jaski's going to try and finish things off here, get a 1-2-3 inning, and get the Wolverines going back on offense. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. And Lugbauer again making a nice stop. Three-two count here. Two outs, top seven. Wolverines with an 8-3 lead in their home opener. Payoff pitch. Swinging a ground ball left side to Cronenworth. Cronenworth, solid as always, throws him out at first base, and we go to the bottom of the seventh. Stretch time here in Ann Arbor. Wolverines leads 8-3. We'll be right back on WCBN Sports.
Now join us in the time-honored tradition of singing "Take Me Out to the Ballgame." Now pitching for Bowling Green, number 25, Devin Doherty.
New pitcher here, bottom seven for the Falcons of Bowling Green. It's Devin Daughtry, right-hander. Junior, 6'2", 174 out of Wooster, Ohio. Given the fact that my dad grew up in Ohio, I know that is virtually middle of nowhere farmland. But nice to see that the man has pulled himself up by his bootstraps and earned a D1 scholarship to a decent school. Daughtry, primarily a starter for this team, primarily a reliever for this team. 8th appearance, 1-1 on the season, 6.28 ERA, 14 1/3 innings pitched. allowed 14 hits, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks. So this pitcher, Devin Daughtry, not obviously the most shutdown of pitchers with that 6.28 ERA. Also a 3.23 opponent batting average. That good to lead the team. Or I suppose lead isn't really the right word for it. In any case, Michigan will try and tack on a few more here in the bottom of the 7th. Joe Jusick at the plate. First pitch is a fastball into the knees, dropped by Justin Mott. I suspect that if he had been able to hold that on and frame it, he would have been given the call. The 1-0 pitch. That one outside. 2-0 now to Jusick. We'll update you on the rest of the Big Ten. 5 games in action today. The 2-0 pitch to Jusick. That one catches the outside corner. Finally a strike from Daughtry. 2-1. Central Michigan and Michigan State facing off today in East Lansing. 6-3 the lead for the Spartans after 8. 2-1 pitch. Low and in. 3-1 now to Jusick. Rutgers playing New Jersey Tech at home in Piscataway. 5-3 the final there in favor of Rutgers. 3-1 pitch now to Jusick. Swinging a pop-up in the left field. Under it is Smith. He calls off Glansman, the new shortstop for the Bowling Green Falcons, and he makes the catch. 1 away here. Ohio State leads Toledo at home in Columbus 2-1 in the top of the 4th. Indiana playing Louisville today. Louisville, a perennial powerhouse down there in the ACC. 1-0 Indiana after 4, and Purdue and Kent State are tied after 1. Playing in Lafayette today. First pitch to Kevin White, low and away in the dirt, 1-0. Daughtry comes set, 1-0 pitch. That one catches the outside corner, off speed, 1-1 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Also in action today, Northwestern playing St. Mary's, Maryland and James Madison, and Cal State Fullerton playing Nebraska in Lincoln. Cal State Fullerton, another one of those teams that year to year always has a chance at making it to the College World Series. Those 3 games all yet to get underway. So now a 1-2 count to Kevin White. White takes that one's in the dirt. Nice stop by Justin Mott, keeping it in front of him. As an ex-catcher, you always got to respect the guys that work hard back there and are able to take a beating to kind of save the pitcher. Keep him looking good. 2-2 now to Kevin White. He takes on the outside corner. He gets rung up. He doesn't like the call. Look good from up here, though. 2 outs now. Drew Lugbauer going to come to the plate now. Drew Lugbauer, as I mentioned, was selected 21st overall last season in the MLE draft. Instead, elected to come here to Ann Arbor. He's listed as the number 37 freshman in the Perfect Game Top 100 list. Swings and waves at a changeup right at the knees, 0-1. Out of Arlington High School in Pleasant Valley, New York. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another off-speed pitch. Outside corner. 0-2 now to Lugbauer. Lugbauer 6'3", 220. And again, the word is that he has quite a bit of power in that bat. Haven't seen much of it so far this season. Just 4 doubles. Those are the only extra base hits for him this season. Lines the 0-2 pitch foul into the bullpen of the Wolverines. He's hitting 169 on the season. Played in 19 of the Wolverines' 22 games. 11 hits in 65 at-bats. 3 RBIs. Swinging a chopper to first base. Fielded on 1 hop. Toss to the pitcher. Daughtry records the out. 3 up, 3 down for the Wolverines. We go to the top of the 8th. Wolverines still lead 8-3 in Ann Arbor.
The Michigan baseball team will return to home action this Friday as they begin a 3-game series against the Maryland. First pitch is scheduled for 4 p.m. on Friday. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit ingoblue.com.
And welcome back to Ann Arbor. Jaskey stays on the mound for the Wolverines. Lugbauer in there at catcher. Still the same lineup for the Wolverines all throughout. Nick Glansman, new shortstop for the Bowling Green Falcons, takes a fastball on the outside corner, 0-1. He came in last inning as a defensive replacement, now getting his first at bat. Swing and a miss at a pitch right at the knees, 0-2. Glansman is quite tall. Glansman 6'3" there in that right-handed batter's box. Skinny frame. And he caught him looking. Jaskey right at the knees. Change up. Glansman stood there like a barn at the side of the road. Let him pass it by. 1 up, 1 down on 3 pitches from Oliver Jaskey. And now Trey Keegan's going to come to the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Had a single back in the 4th inning. Takes the first, a curveball right over the heart of the plate. 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Another curveball goes backdoor on him. 0-2. 5 pitches, 5 strikes so far in the 8th. Wolverines with an 8-3 lead. Got out ahead to a 3-2 lead after 4. Had a 3-run 5th. Next pitch is in the dirt, 1-2. And then scored 2 more back in the 6th inning, and it's been at 8-3 since. Every time the Falcons have scored a run so far this game, Wolverines have been able to answer. And another caught looking inside corner, another changeup. Jaskey gets him to again just stand there confused. Seemed like Keegan had a little bit of a disagreement with the umpire, but he goes back to the dugout without too much of a fight. So 2 strikeouts here for Jaskey in the 8th, putting on a show in this relief appearance. First pitch to Matt Smith, outside for a ball. Now the 1-0 pitch. Jaskey from the windup. That one in the dirt, 2-0. Smith steps back in, 0 for 3 on the day. Inside corner, a fastball. That one misses. And the count moves to 3-0. Jasky trying to get a 1-2-3 inning going here. Falling behind 3-0 though. Fastball on the outside corner, hits for a strike. 3-1 now. Jasky just knocking that ERA lower and lower. This one a pop up to right field. Kevin White under it. He makes the play. Falcons go 1-2-3 in the eighth. We go to the bottom of the eighth with the Wolverines leading 8-3 here in Ann Arbor. You're listening to WCBN Sports.
Changes on defense for the Wolverines. Now playing left field. Number 15, Austin Rosberg. Now playing right field. Number 24, Hunter Clancy. And now catching the Bowling Green, number 1, Trey Keegan. Leading off the bottom of the eighth inning for Michigan. Second baseman coming.
Eric Jacobson comes to the plate for the Wolverines. Here in the bottom of the eighth, 8-3 lead for the Wolverines. Couple of defensive replacements for the Falcons, as well as a new pitcher, Trevor Blaylock, the new pitcher. We'll get to him in a moment. Blaylock winds and delivers. Swinging a chopper fouled on the third base line. 0-1. The defensive replacements, new catcher for the Falcons. That's going to be Trey Keegan. He came in from DH. Now he's going to be behind the plate, redshirt sophomore. Number 15, Addison Rosebert, the new left fielder, as Jacobson grounds it over to the left side. Mishandled by the second baseman, Howard. Jacobson's going to reach on an air. Addison Rosebert, left fielder, sophomore, 5'11", out of Port Clinton, Ohio, right along the lake there near Sandusky. And Hunter Clannon, the new right fielder, a freshman, 6'3", 203 out of Columbus. And the same infield other than Blaylock and Keegan. Cronenworth comes to the plate now. 1 for 3 on the day. Takes outside a fastball. 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Swinging a ground ball through the hole on the right side. Jacobson looking to go first to third. It was too shallow in right field. He'll stay at second. But the Wolverines now have first and second here with no outs in the bottom of the eighth. Trevor Blaylock, the pitcher for Bowling Green, 7.89 ERA on the season, 0-5. He's appeared in 6 games, made 3 starts, and this is been more or less of a disaster so far in the early going this season. Five of Bowling Green's 13 losses have been attributed to Blaylock, and now the pitching coach, or perhaps actually Coach Smith, it appears I'm mistaken, he's going to come out and have a talk with Blaylock. Blaylock might be getting the early hook. He struggled so much, I wouldn't expect him to have too long of a leash. Blaylock, again, over 5 on the season, 21 2/3 pitched. 15 strikeouts, though, 11 walks, and a 321 average against. Blaylock's going to stay in the game for the moment. It actually appears that there isn't anybody warming up in the Bowling Green bullpen just yet. A catcher is running down there. Looks like Justin Mott, who just came out of the game, is going to run down and warm somebody up. No indication yet. In any case, Blaylock stays in the game, first and second for the Wolverines. Crowding the plate is Jake Bivens. He takes that one on the inside corner, 0-1, has his front foot just right on the line of the batter's box, a few inches off of the plate. 0-1 pitch. Swinging a ground ball, foul right back towards the front corner of the Bowling Green bullpen dugout, 0-2 count now to Jake Bivens. Bivens has 3 hits on the day. He scored 2 runs. Reaches out and fouls one off. Nice defensive 2-strike hitting there. Shortens up on the grip and just reaches out and taps one foul. 0-2. That one went onto the roof of the Wolverines indoor hitting facility. Left field line. Glines on deck. He's had a nice day yet again. Wind still blowing out to right field. Now a grounder. Flip to second. They got him there. Throw to first, and they got Bivens at first. Double play for the Falcons. 2 outs now on the board. Bottom 8. Glines comes to the plate. Jacobson moved up to third base after the double play. So Glines isn't working with nothing, but with 2 outs on the board, he will have to put something on the ground, preferably to the outfield, if he wants to tack on some runs. Blaylock set. The pitch. Outside corner, a fastball for a strike. Looked good to me. Glines could have certainly tried to reach out and hit that. 0-1 now to Glines. Curveball, that one didn't break too easily. Left it outside, 1-1 count. Benedetti on deck yet again. Wolverines have got their fair share of plate appearances so far today. Glines swing and a miss on a curveball inside. Going on top of that one. Count moves to 1-2 with 2 outs. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball right side, right into the glove of the first baseman. He takes it himself. Ryder records the out. Wolverines held scoreless after putting Blaylock in a jam. 8-3, we go to the top of the 9th. Wolverines looking to close this one out at home and improve their home record on the 2015 season to 1-0. We'll be right back on WCBN Sports.
Now pitching for Michigan, number 30, Michael Hendrickson.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and down, throw my hands up and down, throw my hands back and down. Come on now, don't forget to say you will.
And welcome back for the top of the ninth inning. Wolverines with an 8-5 lead. Michael Hendrickson, a freshman, in now to pitch for the Wolverines. Lefty, 6'3", 205, a local boy out of Saline, Michigan. This season, 7 appearances, no starts, 0-1 record, 7.45 ERA. First pitch, line to the right field line. That one's down, fair ball. Ryder, the batter, he swung and hit that first pitch, and Ryder moves up to second base with a no-out double here in the top of the ninth. Bowling Green would need a big rally here to come back, trailing 8-3. Hendrickson, 9 2/3 innings on the season, 11 strikeouts, 7 walks, and a .333 opponent batting average. First pitch, ball up. Ryder at second base, Basalga at the plate. Basalga takes low, 2-0. And Hendrickson, the freshman who clearly has struggled with a 7.45 ERA, a 2.33 whip, just looking to, again, get his footing. That's what a lot of these early season games are for freshmen. Basalga fouls that one off, 2-1. Trying to cut the teeth a little bit, get used to the college game. Still pretty early in the season. The conference slate is just getting underway. And these midweek games are really good experience for the freshmen who can't really contribute too much in the conference regard, but will have to do so later on as they mature and get better, and as the guys above them move on. 2-1 pitch outside, 3-1. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That one's inside. He walked him on 5 pitches, and Basalga moving up. First and second here, no outs. Top 9. Hendrickson in a little bit of trouble. Nobody warming up in the Michigan bullpen yet. But Coach Bakich certainly can't be too happy when you bring in a freshman to close out the game with a 5-run lead and he gets himself into a jam. Clayton, the hitter now. Strike one right at the knees, curveball. Clayton came in last inning as a defensive replacement in right field. He's hitting .250 on the season, 3 for 12. It's almost easier to say that he's 3 for 12 than his actual average given so few of appearances. 3 RBIs on the season, though. Ball in the dirt, 1-1. Hendrickson struggling here. He comes set. Now the pitch. Swinging a ground ball left side. This could be 2. Got the first at second. Got the second at first. 2 outs here. Top 9. And all of a sudden, Michael Hendrickson could be getting himself out of it. And the Wolverines could be walking in with an easy win here. 8-3. The score right now, a runner still on third. Ryder moved up after the double play. Rosbert now at the plate. He's hitting .312 on the season. Came into left field last inning. He has struck out 5 times, though. First pitch, a backdoor curve. Michelson doing good work there as a military chopper flies over just a little bit south of the stadium, catching some of the fans' attention. 0-1 pitch, way outside. Ball 1-1 with 2 outs here. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Outside corner, 1-2. And the Falcons are down to their final strike here in Ann Arbor. Wolverines trying to close out a win here on home opener day in Ann Arbor. It was a beautiful afternoon. Now the 1-2. Just outside. Tried to go backdoor with a curveball. Count moves to 2-2. It was chilly, but still sunny. A pleasant day. 2-2 pitch. Swinging a fly ball towards the right field line. That one's going foul. Just gets out of play. Count stays at 2-2. Hendrickson looking to finish things off right here. Corey Brown is on deck if it would get to him. Corey, the center fielder for this Falcon squad. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. And what a way to finish out the day. Michael Hendrickson finishes it up for the Wolverines. Wolverines win 8-3 here in Ann Arbor on their home opener, beating out the Falcons of Bowling Green State University, I should say. And a nice effort from the Wolverines today. Things got underway with Matt Ogden. He had pitched through 4 innings, just gave up 2 runs, but this was certainly more of a platoon day. 5 pitchers saw the mound, 4 other than Ogden. Adcock, Loser, Jaski, and Hendrickson. The other guys on the bump for the Wolverines today, doing a nice job. Ogden credited with the win. He improves to 1-1 on the season. ERA drops to 4.91 overall. And, certainly I would expect to see him get a few more appearances on the mound, maybe try and settle down a little bit, and then maybe potentially get a starting role back in terms of the more important conference games as opposed to the midweek games. On the offensive side of the ball for the Wolverines, it seemed like this was a good day. Every time Michigan went down a run, they would come right back. Bowling Green scored runs in the 3rd, 4th, and 6th innings. Wolverines scored 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, and 2 in the 6th, as well as 3 in the 5th. That 3-run 5th is really the difference maker in this one. And winning run on the day scored by Kevin White, had a solo shot as a new pitcher came into the day, had a nice home run down the right field line. And as always, we'll expect to see more from Kevin White in the power department as this season progresses. Wolverines improve to 12-11 on the season. They'll be facing off with Maryland this weekend for a 3-game set. Very important, as Maryland is expected to finish at the top of the Big Ten, and after starting 0-3 with that sweep against Nebraska this past weekend, they'll have to get back on track. The Wolverines will. We'll have the call for you right here on WCBN Sports. We will be on our YouTube account, our YouTube channel on Friday afternoon, and we'll have to stay tuned. You'll have to stay tuned for Saturday and Sunday, given the fact that there will also be women's softball games played this weekend over at Alumni Field. We'll have the call for you for those. So either baseball will be on YouTube or baseball will be on Ustream. And, of course, softball will be on the other one. And be sure to tune in for those. It was a great day for the Wolverines here, and it will certainly look to be a great day on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You've been listening to WCBN Sports. I'm Eli Sherman on the microphone here. Thanks for tuning in.